Hi, Joe MVR here. Before we get into episode 2 of the GRF show, I just wanted to make a correction in advance of you guys listening to the show. At one point in the show, I was fairly convinced that the Pikes Peak International Hill Race, or the hill climb race, is the very first motorsport held anywhere in the world. That was in, I think, 1904 or 1905, but that was actually not the case at all. I was confused because of an episode of Subaru Launch Control on YouTube, an excellent series, and I was confused because they were talking about Mount Washington, which was the first hill climb event in the US, I believe, and it started off with steam-powered vehicles, so I assumed that that was before the advent of internal combustion engine vehicles, but that was not the case. And the very first motorsport was held in France a good 10 years before the Mount Washington race. So I got Mount Washington and Pikes Peak confused, and I made an assumption that since they started with steam-powered vehicles, it was before the internal combustion engine was a thing, but that was not the case. So just wanted to clarify and correct my fake news, because I think it's very important in the world these days that we are able to correct ourselves when we find out new information. So without further ado, we'll go into the show now. Hope you enjoy. Hi everyone, I'm Joe MVR and welcome to episode 2 of the Global Rally Fans Show, the GRF Show. Today I'm joined once again by Dennis, and Dennis will Focus X2, founder of GRF, but today we also have Brett or Solidus, who's on the show. Hi, Brett. How you doing?
Hello, doing well. Having a nice weekend here. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, very well myself too. And Dennis, how are you doing?
Hi everyone, I'm doing very well. It's been a hot day, and yeah,
A hot day
thanks
here
for
as well.
having me on the show.
Well, it's our show, so you
Yeah.
guys are always welcome. It's hot in Montreal as well. And what about Colorado?
Oh yeah, we were up in right around 100 Fahrenheit for the weekend.
Wow, so
So
that's what,
seems like
37? I think that's like
yeah,
37, 38. Wow,
I think that's right.
Celsius. Fantastic.
I,
Okay.
I imagine many of us in the northern hemisphere are probably struggling with the heat, and then uh, Sam I'm never sure how to say people's names, but maybe Sam Sajax I think is down in the southern hemisphere. Maybe he's one of a few of us with going through winter right now.
Right, right. Actually, we will probably have him on the show soon, so he'll be able to tell us exactly how to pronounce it. If he didn't recognize his name, I
Perfect.
call him Samsa Gax, and
Okay.
others call him Samsa Jax. So, Brett, sorry, not Brett. Yes, Brett. I'm getting confused here. So, Brett, one Brett, for those who don't know, is one of the admins on the GRF team. But really, more than that, he's also been very instrumental to the establishing of the GRF club and therefore its success right from the start. So maybe you and Dennis can tell us a little bit about your role in the actual, initiation of the club and how we got to where we are today. Just a few words on that.
Sure, sure. I know that this story has been told maybe in your other podcast, your interview podcast series. But yeah, basically the way I kind of fit into the picture is I had just gotten a racing wheel and was getting really nerded out on dirt rally, and was looking for more excuses for competitive play with actual people that you'd be interacting with, and could talk about lap times and who had done what or struggled in which sections, just kind of looking for that social aspect to it. And hopped onto Reddit, and Dennis had just posted, something like, hey, putting together a club, thinking the vibe is going to be relaxed, kind of a dad's club, no aliens, people who are playing the game in there, on the weekends or in the evenings, maybe, not the whole goal was that it would be like relatively non-competitive. And yeah, so I messaged Dennis a little bit after that and said, hey, what, have you thought at all about a Discord? And I think the response was, nah, that's not really something I'm that interested in, but if you wanted to make one, go for it. So yeah,
Okay.
went in and I think 10 minutes later, sent Dennis a link to the Discord, and I want to say we probably had 5 people by the end of the day. I think Joe, you were probably one of those very first joiners. Is that, am I remembering that correctly?
I think so. Like I know that you were there and Josh was there, and of course Dennis, and maybe
Okay,
Jifu as well.
sure,
And that's all the only people that I recall. But I think there
sure.
was Mirza Pirza as well. So Dennis, what do you think?
Yes, it's exactly the way Brett Brett said. I mean, at the beginning, I thought I would be happy if we would have like 10 or 15 people that drive regularly in the club. Back then, I didn't realize that you need 100 people in the club to have 10 to 15 people racing regularly. And
Yes.
so when Brett asked me for the Discord, I thought, yeah, okay. I mean, it's not what I need, but if he wants to start a Discord, actually, I thought, okay, this guy, he said he would start a Discord, but it will never happen. And as Brett said, it was like a couple of hours later, he sent me the link, and that's how we started.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then Dennis, you really, I think once we kind of figured out like how the Discord worked and where we could and couldn't talk about it, you just
Hmm.
took off with promoting it, and man, has it grown. Anyone who's been in the club for any amount of time, even a couple months, seems like the growth has just been exponential. And
Yes, yes, it's been
I
crazy.
I think, yeah, the thing that has surprised me the most about it is that now there are some truly fast people racing in this club, and the vibe though hasn't changed. There still seems to be like a relaxed atmosphere,
Mm.
and yeah, I haven't been as active recently in the GRF events, unfortunately, but yeah, the vibe of the Discord and just the collaborative and helpful environment has kept me back for the or kept me here for the social side of it.
Yeah, it's even if you don't drive a lot, I'm also not driving a lot at the moment. It's still cool. I mean, to have a look through Discord and what people are talking
Sure.
about and what people are about. It's really nice. It's even though it's not always 100% about Dirt Rally 2.0, but it's also about social aspect, as you said.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys, um, I get notified when you're playing other games, like because for you, Brett, on Steam, and I just shake my head in disgust, really.
Yeah, I'm imagining you were seeing some of my recent Death Stranding phase, maybe.
Yeah,
Or
I
currently
don't
it's
know.
Wreckfest.
I don't know.
Oh, Wreckfest is cool.
We
Yeah.
should definitely try to get some people together for a Wreckfest one day.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's no crossplay. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Uh,
true.
So okay, so tell us about a little bit about yourself, Brett, and then tell us about your fantastic weekend as well, because I think the two can be tied together.
Yeah, sure, sure. Um, yeah, I'll kind of stick to maybe the racing
Yeah.
stuff. So when I was a teenager, I grew up in Florida, which is super flat, and always so I got a longboard, and my brother and I would bomb down the local drawbridge when it was up, and not like the ramp part, but the road leading up to that, and we'd hit like 25 miles an hour, and like I think that kind of kicked off my need for speed, and yeah, eventually we moved out to California. I think when I was maybe 16, and I
Okay.
picked up downhill skateboarding while I was there. So I was traveling like up and down the coast of California, racing longboards down mountain roads. Um, and man, that
Wow.
was a really fun, but ultimately probably too wild a sport to keep doing. Um, so yeah, when I moved back to Florida for school, um, basically had nothing, no more mountains. So kind of picked up motorcycles and was doing some track days, but didn't really love it all that much. I think the risk is too high for the amount of enjoyment I was getting out of it.
Sure.
So I never really felt that comfortable pushing it on a motorcycle. And yeah, just recently kind of have I think I bought a Valve Index and was kind of just looking for. I've never played racing games in my life, and was kind of just looking for like there's not that much content for VR, so I was like, well, try out a racing game, and Dirt Rally was on sale for like $5 or something, so I picked that up, and yeah, I think like a month later, I had a chair and a wheel, and
Yeah.
the GRF thing happened, and yeah, I've spent a good chunk of time, um, maybe not relative to other people in the club, but relative to the other video games I play. Spent a good chunk of time in Dirt Rally, and really that's the only thing I use VR for anymore. Um, Man, it's just such a fun game and such a rewarding experience. And then yeah, that kind of after playing Dirt Rally for maybe 6, 8 months, kind of started thinking like, man, wouldn't it be fun to be able to do some of this in real life? So I just Googled rally cross in Colorado, and yeah, basically found out that one or 2 weeks from then was an event, maybe 30 minutes from me. So I
Wow.
entered in my 2009 Outback sedan or Outback wagon,
Okay.
and had a blast. That was super fun. The wagon was probably the least appropriate vehicle there that day, but man, it just to get it sideways in dirt, and to really be able to mash on the gas and yeah, lose traction. It's not a thing you can do on open roads most of the time. So I think maybe a week or two after that, I picked up a Jetta, 2001 Jetta, specifically for rally crossing. And I've been doing that for about maybe just under a year now.
Okay.
And yeah, that has been a lot of fun. And it's cool to see the way the dirt rally, especially with a wheel, and real life rally cross or dirt driving, it's not a one for one in terms of the way the wheel feels or responds, um, but you can definitely learn a lot. I'm finding you can learn a lot experimenting in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and then find out which of those things actually carries over into real life. So things like practicing all the sequence of events for like a Scandinavian flick,
Yeah.
100% valuable training for real life rally or rallycross. Um, so that's been really cool to over time have dirt rally become gone from being a thing I did purely for fun to there being an aspect of training for another similar activity that I've been enjoying a lot.
Right. All of that sounds really, really cool. I had a couple of questions for you. First of all,
Sure,
do you
sure.
still have the Subaru or did you replace
I
it?
No, I still have the Subaru.
How's it running?
So
Because
we
I've
don't.
got a 2009 Impreza and it's still going
Sure.
strong.
Yeah, I know that this generation of Outback, and this generation of Subaru is prone to like some head gasket issues.
Hmm.
I've had no problems with mine. That vehicle's been bulletproof.
Very
How
cool.
about yours?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, we have some really bad potholes in Montreal, so the suspensions
Okay.
needed work a couple of times, but other than
Yeah,
that, it's been
that's fair.
fine. And okay, so here's the other thing, right? Rallycross. It's so what I saw in some of your videos is you're doing kind of like a loop, right? That you have to just go through as
Sure.
fast as you can. But that's not like the Rallycross that we see in game, right? Or in the WRX or FIA, or Nitro Rallycross or what was GRX and all of that kind of stuff, where you're racing against other
Sure.
cars. So what's the difference? What can you describe
Yeah.
what you mean by rallycross that you're doing?
Yeah, that's probably a good thing to get clarity on. So, um, rallycross, the rallycross I've been doing, my understanding is that there's European rallycross, and then there is, I don't know if it's American rallycross or we just call it rallycross here, right?
Okay.
Um, but the rallycross I've been participating in is very similar to autocross, which is basically, there's a large, um, in autocross it would be a big parking lot that a course is set up in cones within, and then it's essentially time trials, right? You're
Okay.
running the stage, and a difference is in rallycross your time is cumulative. I think in autocross it's your best time of the day. Um, so the difference would be that rallycross is taking that concept but putting it into a dirt parking lot or a field behind a racetrack is where we've been doing a lot of our racing.
Okay.
So it's, we'll frequently start out with, just kind of like untamed, unmanaged land. And then, after the first few runs, we've kind of cut our own pretty rough dirt road into the terrain.
Right.
So that would be different from the European rallycross, which is side to side racing, and that
Yeah.
that would be what's in Dirt Rally 2.0.
Yeah. And
So you've got multiple cars on a potentially partial tarmac, partial dirt track, racing head to head simultaneously. So ours is a little tamer than that. So it's really like a miniature, um, a miniaturized version of stage rally is I think what we're trying to approximate with
right.
rallycross.
Right. I get you. Yeah, because there is rallycross, like the what you call the European variety, has been in the US for a while. Like there was the GRX, which was, oh sorry,
Sure.
GRC, and then the ARC, yeah, the American Rallycross. And if you watch Subaru Launch Control or something like that, you get kind of very familiar with Rallycross, European style rallycross in America. And now Travis
Yes.
Pastrana's got Nitro Rallycross, and they've switched to electric cars this year as well, which is kind of fun but different.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. So Dennis, what about you? Have you done any real life motorsport kind of stuff?
I used to do quite a lot of track days.
Ah,
Some, yeah, some 10, 15 years ago.
mm-hmm.
And we did regular trips to the Nordschleife.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
yeah,
like 2 times or 3 times a year. I've been
wow.
to, yeah,
Okay,
I've been to Silverstone and some to a smallish French racetrack, which is not that far away from where I live. It was track days, but it was never any um, stuff on gravel or dirt roads.
right. Well, you know what?
I
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Dennis, you often post pictures of a lot of very, very, very cool cars. I
Yeah,
think you am I remembering correctly that blue Ford Cosworth is yours?
that's mine. Yes.
Okay, and then are then you have some neighbors or friends with some similarly
Mm,
awesome vehicles as well?
yeah, my neighbor used to have a Yaris GR. which he sold like a month ago, and now he has uh the Jeep pickup. I always forget this
Oh,
really
yes,
cool
yes, yes.
American name, the Gladiator, the Jeep
Yeah.
Gladiator. Yeah, no, he sold the GR for a Jeep Gladiator. Yeah.
Okay. Were you tracking your Cosworth?
Do you mean track? No, no, not at all.
Okay.
That's always a question that people ask me. Oh, will you do track days in it? No, no chance. I know it's made for stuff like that, but it's just you did they really
It's
got
too
up in
nice.
prices, and it's
Yeah.
mine is actually too nice. I mean, I think it's too nice to drive it on track. I would if I would have the track alone for myself, so I can do a little bit
Sure.
of granny driving, go left and go right. But with the amount of people that are nowadays doing track days in my area in their cars and not really watching out for others, I must admit that I wouldn't track it.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I've never done anything like it. I mean, I've done a couple of um I did a an ice rally lesson here, but it was so brief.
Oh, that
You know,
sounds cool.
but it was, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Um, but you only get to do four small laps, and it was only by the time that I was like beginning to understand exactly what I
Sure.
should be doing and what's safe and what's not, you know,
Mm.
um, my four laps were over. So, and it was pretty expensive. So maybe I'll go back again. But Dennis, where you live in Switzerland, that's just like such a perfect location to go to Nordschleife or go to the racetrack in France, and
Yeah,
probably some of these fantastic Italian roads are available
yeah,
not far
Monza. Yeah,
from you.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
not just the Italian tracks, but apparently there's some really amazing Italian roads as well for driving on, or at least that's so
Mm,
I've seen in Top Gear.
mm. It's funny because a lot of the the roads you see in Top Gear are roads that I've actually driven since I learned to drive. So
Wow.
if you live in Switzerland, the sad thing is Switzerland does not have a single racetrack, not even one.
Oh wow.
Even
Okay.
though there, even though there's a lot of Swiss. If you watch GT racing, for example, there's a lot of Swiss guys involved, and
Yes.
with the Sauber Alfa Romeo team, there's even a Swiss Formula One team. We actually don't have a racetrack in the whole country. But since the country is really small, it's not that far away. I mean, the a trip to the Nordschleife is 400 kilometers. A trip to Italy is 250 kilometers. Trip to France to the next racetrack is for me is a 40-minute drive. So it's not a bad place to live if you're into racetracks or going to races.
Right. Right. Yeah.
We
It's
also have a lot of in Switzerland. What we have a lot of hill climb. Yeah,
of course.
and
That was
and and autocross, we call it slalom racing over here. But what we actually don't have is what Brett is doing, like
no
rallycross
no
on dirt. Yeah,
Ah.
I've been having just so much fun with that. I would Joe, you mentioned you've got a 2009 Impreza. If you can find a rallycross event nearby, you should just go.
Yeah.
I would say anyone who could, has the ability to get to a rallycross event, it's so worth going, even if you just like treated it as a, kind of like, I don't know, just learning to drive a little bit on the edge, or seeing what the edge of traction might feel like in your daily driver.
Yeah.
Um, you can get into people's cars do get a little busted up, but it's typically only when they're pushing it. So you can kind of go out there and do the granny driving thing and just enjoy it. And man, yeah, if anyone who can make it to one of those should go. They're also cheap. I think the events I participate in are $50 entry fee.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Yeah, that sounds really really accessible. Yeah,
by
maybe
the
I'll
way,
maybe I'll try that.
I think it's funny that you guys are such big Subaru fans because Switzerland is like Subaru country. They
Sure.
are just everywhere, everywhere.
Yeah, I've heard that. I think it's.
How?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
I remember you saying that, in the last 20 years or so, or sorry, in the last like 13 years, Subaru's really picked up in Canada a lot, in Quebec as well.
The fun thing is I think the most important market outside from Japan is the UK for Subaru, and then it's Switzerland. And
Oh,
the
Wow.
reason they're so popular in Switzerland, back in the day, Subaru was the only car brand which sold cheap, affordable 4x4 cars. And since there's a lot of mountains here and a lot of farmers, the farmers started buying these cars. At the beginning, it was the Subaru Justy, this really small hatchback with all-wheel drive. That's what every farmer in Switzerland had.
interesting.
Hmm.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I would I think I would be very loyal to the brand. I've had just so much fun and reliability and safety in this car,
Mm.
in our icy roads in Montreal, that I've become a real fan. If they had a decent electric offering, that would be my next car.
Oh,
Yeah, I know we
please
won't get
no.
onto that. We'll talk about that. So, okay, so Brett, you've been doing this rallycross, and Dennis mentioned hill climb briefly. Now, where were you this weekend?
Sure. Yeah. So my local rally cross chapter had a double header out in at Pikes Peak International Raceway this weekend. So two events, Saturday and Sunday. And
Wow,
yeah, so I went and competed in that. And the I managed my second and my third win over the weekend. So this is three in a row for me. So that definitely feels pretty good. I must be all the dirt rally training is paying off.
Congratulations.
congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
But I mean,
So,
that's huge. You're not even a year into doing this, and you're already a serial winner. I mean, that's something.
It's maybe a little bit like being in the JRC, winning in the JRC4 category. It's definitely a ragtag crew. It's not hyper competitive, but it is fun to put the work in, and
Yeah,
when you
it's
can get
it's
in the zone and line things up, it does feel quite nice.
yeah.
well, that's fantastic. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but of course, um, you were at the birthplace of hill climb, but more so, you were at the birthplace of motorsport itself, because Pikes Peak was the very first motor race.
Interesting. I
If
did
I'm
not
not
know that.
mistaken, yeah, if I recall correctly, the very first car race was up Pikes Peak.
Okay,
So, yeah,
that's very cool.
I'll see if I can
I
verify that, and maybe I'll have to apologize in episode 3 for getting it wrong. But but I believe that's correct.
I have Brett, did you go to the actual Pikes Peak International Hill Climb? I think it was last month, end of last month.
No, no. So
No?
that was gonna be I was gonna come up with some things I was doing around that time, but the reality is to go to that, you basically end up once you're on the mountain, you
You have
cannot
to stay
leave.
there. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So you're committed to all day. And I had a rally cross event the weekend before and had one 2 weekends after. So I decided that was going to be enough time in the hot heat for me, and
Mm.
save my energy for other things. So no, as much as I very much want to do that, I have not made it up to a hill climb yet at Pikes
Uh,
Peak.
I listened to a Dirtfish podcast the other week, and they were talking exactly about that, about the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb and being a fan, getting up at 2:30 in the morning, going up the mountain, waiting for the cars, not being able to go down while they're racing. So yeah, which was a
I
really good podcast, I think.
Interesting.
it's the thing that's going to require a little bit more planning, I think, than the weekend before talking to a buddy at Rallycross and saying, should we do that? It sounds kind of cool. Wait, all day? Maybe not.
Uh,
So I think now that I know all that, maybe I'll be better prepared next year.
yeah, I have a little episode that I can tell you. Some 2 or 3 years ago, we went to Rally Legend in San Marino.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know if you've heard about that, which is a really, really huge rally event in Europe. And it's kind
Okay.
of, I would say, 50% competitive and 50% it's just for show and fun and for the fans. You have all
Sure.
sorts of classic rally cars, ex-WRC cars. Ken Block was there. And so when we went there, I checked out the map where I could stand for a night stage or a sunset stage, and I had the problem that I was standing there waiting for the cars. I didn't have anything to eat. I didn't have anything to drink. I didn't have my little camping chair with me, so I was just standing there with my wife for I was must have been 6 or 7 hours without anything to drink or
Oh
eat because
no.
you were just stuck until the stage was finished. But it was really cool since rally fans in general are really they're a really nice bunch of people. So we got offered beer throughout the whole time while we were standing there.
Well, that's good. And it sounds like you found a good partner if they're willing to suffer through something like that, just so you can see some fast cars drive by.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She does. I mean, I know what she's doing for me, so it's well appreciated by me.
Yes, yes.
So, what's your next event?
What my next event?
Yeah, what's your next event, Brett? What are you going to be
Yeah, so
doing?
the next one is we've got another Rallycross event. Well, actually, so next weekend is Rally Colorado, which is an ARA event, and a few friends and I from Rallycross are going to be volunteering at a stage rally. So I'll be working as the start and stop control. So what was the guy's name in Dirt Rally?
Marshall, the
Oh,
Marshall that gets
Yeah,
us
Dave,
over.
Dave,
yeah. What Dave?
Dave.
Yeah. So I'm
Dave.
gonna hope to avoid a Dave scenario. But yeah, I'll be starting and stopping real life rally cars. So I'm very excited to participate in that.
Oh, fantastic. So, yeah, so if anyone doesn't
Awesome.
know the meme, what people often do at the end of a rally is crash into one of the marshals. And I think the meme is that he's called Dave, this guy, the generic marshal guy or steward in Dirt Rally 2. So,
I'm
yeah,
I'm hopeful that the real life rally drivers have been uh, being nice to Dave and corrected that muscle memory that I imagine we've all picked up
yeah,
of just making us beeline to the nearest marshal when you shut down a stage.
exactly. Dave broke his shins again. So, all right, we should probably move on and talk about some general GRF shit. So, let's talk about what's been going on in the GRF world this week. Anyone care to start? We're going to be talking about the daily events, the regular championship, and the new special events that have already got underway. Does anyone want to start, or should I start with talking
My
about?
computer just hung itself up, so you can start.
Okay, sure. Um, yeah, so I'll talk about the daily event first. I think the daily's been going pretty well. We've had participation from quite a few people. Um, and I think I'm one of the few that's been doing it every single day. I think Daro or Jandar is one of the other guys. Toolmaker has done very, very well in the ones that he's participated in, but he hasn't participated in all of them. So I did end up winning the last one, the last week of dailies by quite a long margin, a big margin.
Well,
But that's
congratulations.
well, thank you, but again, it's because
Congratulations.
I do them all. I do them all and I finish fairly high, so that was good. But other people like Weepy, Typecast Wookie, Ed Rosa, they've all been winning events as well as Toolmaker and me too. So it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I love that championship because it makes you begin to enjoy cars that you would never drive. And as we talked about before, Dirt Rally 3 is over, 3.5 years old now almost. And, but you can still get a lot of mileage out of it by doing the same old stages, but in different cars, in different weather conditions, different degradation, night versus day. And sometimes previous experience on the same stage doesn't count for much, once you tried it in different conditions. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the dailies. And yeah, does anyone want to talk about the current special event? I know we talked about it a bit last time, but it's now underway. Have you done it yet,
Uh,
Dennis?
no, I'm planning to do my run on Thursday because I don't have time until Thursday.
Okay.
And yes, it has just started and will run until next Friday, I think.
Okay. Yeah, until
And
Friday. Yeah.
as far as I've seen, only two people have chosen the wrong car, so that's not even that bad. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's
can't say.
I have a question. I saw that the people with the wrong car were awarded was it the Golden Pineapple Award?
Yeah,
What's the story with the Golden Pineapple?
it's really funny that you're asking that because I was thinking if I should post it up. That's okay. I guess you guys in Northern America don't know the golden pineapple. The golden pineapple, which is in German die goldene Ananas, is just awarded to like if you mess up or if you're last somewhere in the race or whatever,
Ah,
then you get the golden ananas, the golden pineapple.
The
So they messed up by taking the wrong car, so they were awarded the golden
ah
pineapple. But I guess it doesn't really
fair.
translate
the booby prize.
into your part of the world.
Yeah, we
Well,
call it the
that's
booby
good to know
prize.
now. Now we know what it is.
And it's really cool because I think Nastasia is German, if I'm not mistaken. So
Oh, then
she'll
yeah,
know
oh yeah,
exactly what what that is. So
Perfect.
okay.
that's pretty cool.
Oh,
So yeah, I think we call it the booby prize here, or
booby
yeah,
prize.
for screwing up. You get a prize for screwing up. So, but I think we should keep it calling it the golden pineapple, and it can be.
Yeah, we can keep it like that.
I think so. It'll be good.
But
Yes, I like the Golden Pineapple.
by the way, I just saw that Typecast Wookie is leading the first special event in Wales.
Yep, yep. So, I I had a mishap there. I was um, in. I think I was gonna. Well, I would have ended up in second, but my game crashed, and
Mm.
so I'm gonna have to do a makeup stage. And maybe now's a good time to talk about that. It's something that we've introduced in um, the special events. So if anybody has a technical issue that messes up a stage for them, so for example, the game crashes or RaceNet goes down or something like that, then if they, especially if they have recording of that or a video proof of it, then they can let us know and we can recreate the rally stages that are affected for them, as long as they do the stages before to get the tire wear that was realistic, and they can actually submit their new footage and times and let us know, and we will give them a second chance, basically.
Am I understanding correctly that in that case, only the stages that were missed are going to be recounted?
No, so
So for
yes,
example, if the first three were recorded, you'd only be making up the last three,
right. So what for?
or the
I'll
last of the events.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example, right? A real example. Yesterday I did stage one, didn't do very well in it. And then I did stage 2, and in stage 2, the very first sector, the game crashed, right? So what would happen then is I restart the game, and I'm going to be put straight into stage 3 by the game, and I would be given a time of 15 minutes if it's a short stage, or 30 minutes if it's a long stage, which is clearly, much slower than I would have done it. Now, in this particular case, between services, stages 1 to 4 only had a service at the beginning, and then stage 5 would have had the next service. So what we would do for a person like me who just crashed out, the game crashed out in stage 2, we would recreate stages 1 to 4. And well, actually, we'd only really need to do 1 and 2. The person would have to do stage 1 to get the same level of tire wear, right? So that when they start to do stage 2 in their do-over, the car is in pretty much the same condition as it would have been in stage 1, right? And then you go do your stage 2 times, and you submit that and the recording of that, and we'll replace the crashed 15-minute time with your real time.
So would your guidance to people who are really wanting to be kind of competitive in this series, it sounds like the guidance to them would be to go ahead and record your runs, even if it's low fidelity, so that you can capture that unexpected events or crashes if they occur.
Yeah, so I'd been thinking about this quite a bit, and yes, that would be the ideal situation if you can record your runs. I know that's not possible for everyone, but here's the thing: there are some people who've had their VR go wonky, as someone said, and then they crashed out and had to retire. They told us about it in the Discord before they even knew that they could do it again. Right. So
Sure.
obviously,
Yeah.
so what we don't want is people to be having a bad run and then just saying, you know what, I'm just going to hit Alt F4 and say my game crashed. Right. But I don't think I don't think we have drivers who are like that, who would do that.
Sure.
So I think we can afford to judge each one case by case, and we'll probably always let them redo it. Probably, but
Excellent.
unless it's very fishy.
Sure. Sure.
What do you think, Dennis?
I'm with you, and thank you for organizing to do that, to organize that possibility for people who
Right.
have issues with
Yeah,
their
thank
stuff.
you. Right. So what I will need from you, Dennis, at some point is the degradation conditions that you did for the
Hmm.
for Wales, and I'll create that event. So that's how we're doing
Okay.
in the daily and the regular. Sorry, that was daily and special events. If we just talk about the regular event briefly, Dennis, maybe your computer is back
Yes.
up. Do you want to tell
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
what's?
Yes, I think we were talking already about the Australian rally and the Scotland rally last time, so I'll just
Yes,
keep it to the Finland,
and the
which was
overall.
and the overall
Yep.
result. Yeah, Finland was the last rally of the championship, which I think you organized.
Yep.
Um, yes, and first place was Typecast Wookie.
Hooray.
What a surprise! Uh, Second is Bergqvist.
Yes.
He raced with GRF before, but
Yes.
I
From the
haven't seen him
beginning.
lately. Yeah, at the beginning, yes, and now he
Yeah.
seems to be back. And third place is another Scandinavian guy, which is Toolmaker.
Yep.
And they're separated. Toolmaker and Bergqvist are really separated by a really, really small margin. It's not even a second. It's
Oh wow.
0.05 seconds. Was
Right.
really close in Finland. So with Finland, this championship ended, and yeah, Typecast Wookie won the event.
Yep.
I mean, won the championship. Second, this was you, Joe. Congratulations.
Yay!
And third was VBR Autumn Fuel, one of the French VBR guys, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. No, I had a lot of fun with that championship. Finland in the Rally GT was a bit of a nightmare. Oh, you saw how I was flying. I
Yes,
was
yes.
I was actually quite confident that I could be very close to Wookie, if not beat him in that car, because I loved the Porsche. And after that crash, the car was just messed up so badly, and I was so disappointed in myself. I didn't drive
Mm.
well at all, and then I think I ended up ninth or so. So that was
Wookie is just so fast in any event he's participating. It's crazy.
yeah, and I think a lot of it is his mentality. He just does it for fun, and
Mm.
even if he's doing it casually, he is just so fast. He really gets the cars, especially rear wheel drive.
Mm.
If anyone wants to check out an interview with probably our fastest driver in GRF, in my podcast, episode 2 of the virtual rally podcast, and we have a long chat with Ian or Typecast Wookie, and he tells us about some of his um, tips and how he became so fast, and some of get to know him a little bit more. So, end of plug for my other podcast. So, what else do we have? Time trials are underway now, as they were last time as well, right? So it's running till the end of the month, right?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Until
Uh,
the end of July, and then for August there will be another one which has already been posted. It's Greece, but I'm not sure about the car. I think it's some R5 class car.
okay.
But
Right.
currently it's Germany and the Lancia 037.
Right. And it's going to be the Golf next.
Ah, the Golf, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so a quick thing going back to the dailies, I forgot to mention that the GRF daily competition has changed a little bit now, and that all 7 days are going to be run with the same class of car. So last week it was R5, and this week it's 2000cc. So I'm really
Oh,
enjoying those
is it?
already. Yep,
Is it?
yep. So last week was
Uh,
all R5, and this week we started with 2000cc.
I'm not sure about that. I think I've just been in the Daily Club,
Yeah.
or was I in the wrong one? And I thought to have seen multiple classes.
Oh, really? Well, maybe
Yeah, it
maybe it was
is.
just last week then. I thought it was going to be an ongoing thing. Last week it was all R5.
Yes, last week it was all R5. I think there was a one-timer. I mean, we can propose that to White Robot
Oh, okay. I must have
to throw in
misunderstood.
once to throw in once in a while a one class week like last week. But this week I see it's 2000 cc in Sweden, which is finished,
Yes.
and currently ongoing is Group B rear wheel drive in Finland.
Okay. Oh, that's one of my favorite combinations. So,
And you'll do it later, I guess.
yes, I will. So, okay. Right. Apologies for that misinformation. I'm sorry about my
No
fake
problem.
news and alternative facts. But that's yeah. I get a golden pineapple, I guess, for that.
Yes, I'll send you one.
Right. Oh, so have you been sending out air fresheners yet?
I haven't received them.
Oh, you haven't received that. Okay, okay.
My sister-in-law was here at the weekend, so I was asking her, "Oh, did you get the air fresheners?" No, not yet. And just today, I checked the order status of the air fresheners, and they're not even on the way, so they're still in production, I guess.
Okay,
I
okay.
have a question for you, Dennis. Can
Mm.
you preview the scent, or is that going to be a surprise that
It's
we're going to have to wait
it's
for?
it's new car smell.
Oh,
Okay, perfect.
oh, that's
I
great.
thought I don't like vanilla. Usually it's vanilla, and yeah, I think new car would be okay. Will be okay for anybody.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
I think that seems very fitting. I was expecting maybe Alpine Fresh coming from Switzerland,
Oh
but I
no, I
think
think they had.
new
Think
car
they had
is
only,
going to be good too.
or maybe pineapple scent.
There we go. Maybe that's the next batch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, Brett, can you maybe give us an update, a brief update on how GRF guys are doing in the JRC Championship?
Sure. Yeah. So overall, things are looking pretty good in the overall team standings. So counting for all the tiers, GRF is currently placed fourth. So we're quite a bit behind Barrel Rollers Bears, but they're not out of reach. So I think we have a few people who are signed up under the GRF moniker who have not been participating fully. So
Okay.
if no pressure, but I think if we had a few more people putting in times, we might have a chance at moving up some spots there on the overall standings. But yeah, in JRC 4, where I think it's I'm sorry, it's Sam Sajax, and we'll have to get correction on that when he hosts an episode or is a guest on an episode. So he, Borosito, and I are in that championship or in that level. And I think for JRC 4, GRF is currently leading.
Oh, well
Yeah.
done.
So that's pretty exciting. I'm currently second overall behind Antarka. Um, and then we've got Sam Sajax in seventh, battling with Photo Lizard, who's another GRF member, but racing under, I think it's Team Turbo Drift.
Boo!
And then Borosito, I think, is currently in 12th. So if he can hold on to that, I think the three of us are due for promotions into JRC 3
Oh, cool.
next season. In JRC 3, we've got Goalie and Zephyr, Goalie R and Zephyr in at 10th and 18th. JRC 2, Coresight has been cleaning up.
Oh,
He's
cool.
currently ranked in 5th, chasing down a podium, hopefully. And then James McAdam, I think, has not been participating so much, but I think he's currently in 18th. And then in JRC, we've got Knife Ninja currently placed in 11th, so just on the edge of a top 10 finish. Hopefully, in the next two events, he can make that happen. So I think we've got Australia starting today.
Okay.
So interested to see how that goes. I know it seems like in the JRC Discord, there seems to be a lot of apprehension about Australia, but I've always kind of liked
Yeah, what car
Australia.
class? What
What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I love Australia, but what cars are you using?
Down in JRC 4, we're in the R5, so
Okay.
fairly controllable. I think it won't be too scary. Yeah, if I were in GRC in Knife Ninja's position with having to do Australia in Group B, I'd be scared.
What about you, Dennis? Do you like Australia?
Yes. It's it's not my most favorite location, but it's okay, I guess. So I don't like the really fast, bumpy sections.
Okay.
That I don't know the stage by name, but there's a stage that goes I think downhill, and you just have a lot of bumps, and you kind of want to go flat out, but on the other hand, you're a little bit scared of going flat out because
Yes.
your car could just get thrown off the road. So yeah, I always do Australia with mixed feelings, I think.
I'm
I like New Zealand better, actually.
so in this section of the show, in the video, I'm actually driving an Alpine in one of those mountainous, bumpy, up and down tracks, Yambula
Mm.
Mountain Ascent. So you'll be seeing that. I love doing Australia in rear-wheel drive cars. I think that's my favorite at the moment.
I think.
You're a
Oh, go for it, Dennis.
Yeah, I just want to say, Joe, you're a rear-wheel drive guy, anyways.
No,
I
I
think it's
never
your
was. I never was until
yeah.
no, I just started. I think since GRF, right? I've been more and more And since I learned to start tuning things a bit better,
Mm.
I'm finding that I'm doing very well in some of the daily competitions and stuff, which is why I did RGT. I chose RGT in Finland because I thought I would do really well, and it wasn't the case at all, but whatever. So, okay, so I think we've covered pretty much a lot of the stuff that I wanted to get through. Um, what was the previous event, Brett? I wanted to ask you, what was the previous location and how did it go for you in JRC?
Yeah, the previous location was what was the previous location? This was one of the ones that I did at the very beginning of the week,
Yeah, so okay.
because I had weekend plans. Oh, we were in Spain. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's wet as
Um,
well in times.
yeah, Spain. I was nervous about because that's one of the ones where like if it pops up on the in the career mode dailies
Yeah.
and weeklies, I typically skip it.
Yeah.
I think what happened is a few months ago I did a weekly where I was in Spain in Group B, and in one of the right hand drive cars, and I just really struggled with it. And I think that I got into my mind that I didn't like Spain, whereas I think it was really just uh, skill level and car matchup
Right.
mismatched. So I was nervous about Spain, but it actually went quite well. I drove clean laps and just beat out, just managed to nab a first place. So that worked out quite well.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I think we're proud of all of the people who race under the GRF team moniker. So well done, guys.
Yes,
And
Yeah,
I, I just want to say it's a little bit hard to follow the progress of the team in JRC. So feel free to post an update on standings and general stuff in the channel, in the Discord channel.
sure.
But it's I think the results are fantastic, especially JRC 4, and the fact that we're not far behind barrel rollers bears, or are they called barrel
Hmm.
rollers bears? I guess they're that's guys from the barrel rollers Discord. I mean, and if you check out their Discord, they have like 5,000 members or
oh
4,000
wow,
members.
yeah,
It's a huge community, and we as a smallish community. I mean, we're not the smallest one, but also not the biggest one. Are not even
Sure.
that far away from them, far behind from
And I
them, which I
and this
think
is
is
our
really
our
cool.
first time competing
Mm,
in JRC as a team.
yeah,
fantastic. So actually talking
you
about the
guys are making me proud.
sure. So talking about the JRC and the Discord and posting updates, what might be good is if we've got two channels, right? We've got the team channel and the team channel private, and it might be
Mm,
a good idea if we have try to get more people to discuss in the public channel, unless there's something
yes,
that really
yes,
should be private, because that way everyone can see what's going on and maybe aspire to be in the team as well and
yeah.
get excited about it. But I'm loving the discussion that is going on in the, I think there's a real sense of team community already. People talking about, the difficulties in Spain and so on. I pop in there every now and again because, I feel like I'm missing out not being in the team this time. But
I think
it's really cool.
we have to rework these two channels, because before JRC, when we were uh, doing other events with other clubs, I think that the private channel was used more than it's actually used now. And right now, I don't even think we would need a private channel, but we'll have to figure out what to do to merge these two channels, or uh,
Sure. Yeah,
we'll
maybe that's a
proceed
good
in the
idea.
future.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
I'm in favor of that as well.
Yeah, that would be. I think that would be good. It will make everything a bit more accessible to people. So
Mm,
we're kind of running out of time, but I did want to quickly touch upon something that one of our members, Zephyr, who we mentioned earlier, brought up. Um, I think as a result of the last podcast episode, we were a little bit of critical of Codemasters. I think Josh was talking about how there weren't enough save slots for tuning, and so Zephyr kind of wanted to redress the balance and say, talk about how he thinks the Codemasters have done an amazing job with the sounds in the game, the car sounds specifically, and how realistic they are. If you watch, Rally on TV or go to an event, the game really captures the sounds very well. So, what do you guys think about that?
In complete agreement.
Okay, I think we just had a bit of a technical issue, and we're back. So, what I think we're going to wrap up here, and we're going to continue the discussion on car sounds, or we'll have the whole discussion on car sounds next time. So, does anyone want to shout out to anyone while you're here?
Yeah, on the topic of JRC, big shout out to Shinyo for organizing our club over there and kind of pushing us to participate in an organized way against other clubs and other discords. So big thanks for putting that together and getting everyone coordinated over on JRC.
Shinyo's a star.
Yes, thank you, Shinyo. Also, thank you for organizing uh, the special event leaderboard.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm eager to see how that goes with our new class system. This should be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, and Dennis, is there anyone else you want to say anything to? Or have we covered it all?
Thank you, Joe, for putting together these podcasts.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So
thank you,
finally,
Joe.
finally. God, I dropped so many hints there. No. Yeah,
I
no.
mean, I can give shout outs to everyone since I will be in most episodes. I think I would just to thank everybody who is involved into GRF in any kind of way, as an admin, as a as somebody who runs the club like Void Robot does,
Yeah,
or is just
yeah.
in generally involved in Discord. Thank you for making this such a great place. That's really all I can say.
Yeah, I thank you again, Void Robot, for your daily contribution, and also for helping out with the summary of how things are going in JRC in one of the management channels too today. Oh, question for you, Dennis. Is there going to be a new regular championship now that the old one is
Y-
done?
Yes, I actually wanted to create it today, but I didn't have time to. But there will be one starting by the end of week, I think, and I won't give away which class it will be or how it's going to be set up.
Okay, good. So then I guess we're going to wrap it up right now. And thank you guys for helping out with today's episode, episode 2. And to anyone listening and made it this far, again, we'd love to hear your feedback about how you think the show is going, what you'd like to see discussed, and of course, any volunteers to come on to tell us about your week in GRF or about you in general. We'd love to hear from you. So thank you guys, and we'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time.
Yeah, thanks. It's been
Okay.
fun.